very happy to be here with you, Mr. Samuel Hall.
I'm very happy to be here with you. We are going to knock this thing out.
Of the park.
Of the park. Welcome, everybody, to the Alliance Group podcast. Samuel Howe. I am here with Lydia Cabral from Fings Financial. Runs a very successful agency with Fings Financial with your husband,
Yes.
Mr. J. Lima. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
It's
you.
exciting to have you in Stratton Studios.
Awesome to be here.
You're one of the first ones that got to actually see our new improvements to the studio. We're going to shoot a lot of wonderful content in there with Lydia throughout the day-to-day. But wanted to kick it off with this podcast and get to know a little bit more about you, about your agency, about Fings Financial, why you do what you do. And wanted to kind of start, Lydia, with a little bit about your background. You actually are truly half American, half Brazilian, right?
Yes, auto entitle myself half-half.
A half-half, right? Because you were born in New York City.
Yes, New York State.
New York State.
Upstate, New York.
Okay. And then you moved actually to Brazil when you were
4
years old.
Mm-hmm.
4 years old. There for 30 years.
30 years.
And this is where we met.
Yes, and I went to the American school in Brasilia,
Uh-huh.
which means I have an American education in a foreign country. So I am half-half.
You truly are. Truly straddling that American and Brazilian experience, and can speak from a place of experience.
Yes.
with both of those, which is kind of really serves you well in the industry that you're in.
Yes.
With Fings Financial. Mm-hmm. So you met Jay when you were Brazil, 31 years old when you guys met, and Jay actually owned a small restaurant in a farmer's market.
Yes.
Sold delicious fried
Delicious
things.
food, yes.
And sugarcane juice.
Yes, sugarcane juice.
And you guys, so he being a small business owner, you were actually working at the time at the Egyptian embassy, right?
Embassy of Egypt in Brasilia, Brazil. Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. Tell me what that was like.
I was the secretary to the ambassador, and we used to do everything, basically, issuing visas to helping the ambassador settle in. I did 5 ambassadors, actually.
Wow. That's incredible. What a very cool life experience. When you and Jay moved back to the States, you continued kind of it seems that as I talk to you about where you've been before in your career, it's always helping people,
Yes.
right? You're always kind of connecting and trying to help people. You got back to the States and started working in loan modifications. This is 2009, right?
2009, we came back and we started helping people keep their homes because that was the chaotic years.
Yeah, the real estate crisis in
Yes.
2008, 2009.
Huge crisis. And we started helping people stay in their homes. So we wanted people to be able to afford their homes because many people were upside down. And so we helped them negotiate with the banks. We were the intermediaries between the banks and the people who wanted to keep their homes. And we managed to keep about 500 homes.
500 homes that you helped people keep. Not an easy job.
Nope.
You've described your job was basically as trying to convince banks to make less money.
Correct.
Right. But 500 people that you helped, 500 people that got to stay in their homes throughout that crisis directly because of your work, which is awesome.
Yes.
Very, very cool. And then you went from there into being a loan officer, which is a very, very stressful job. My wife and I recently purchased a home, and I know exactly what you're saying when you were describing to me that when you're a loan officer, everything
is out of
that
your
can
control.
go wrong will go wrong, and it's all out of your control.
Correct. It's very, very hard work.
Mm-hmm.
I admire people who like it. It wasn't for me. I do my loans and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want any more.
Well, I think it goes back to you're trying to help people, but you want to have more control over
Yes.
being able to help them, right?
And it's very frustrating when something happens that is above and out, completely out of your control, and the loan does not close because of that.
Mm-hmm. Very
Very frustrating and sad. And, you put all that time and effort, and at the end of the day, nobody gets what they want.
Right.
You don't get paid. The homeowner doesn't get their home. Many times they already left their previous home,
Right.
and now they're homeless.
Right. Yeah.
Not a very happy scene.
Right. So it's you've established this kind of track record of being in these jobs where you are helping people and where you can help people, especially in the financial realm.
Yes.
Now, we flash forward to 2017, 2018, you and Jay are now in the United States. He has come from Brazil. He's got his small business owner background. You've got your background where you love to help people, financially especially. And you have this very unique experience of, as you said, half and half of, American, Brazilian, having experience in both of those countries. And you're kind of familiar with some of these financial mistakes that people who are coming from Brazil, coming to America, might make, as far as keeping some habits from what they were doing financially in Brazil, in America. Tell me about some of those things, those habits that people have coming from Brazil to America when it comes to finances.
So in Brazil, everybody owes their next salary. So you never start out on zero. You're always on the negative because you're always owing your next salary. So
you get paid first.
You owe your salary before you actually get it.
Oh my goodness. I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around this concept.
Because everybody pays in installments and they throw the installments further ahead in time. So you're owing your installments before you actually get the money. And then when you get the money, you just pay the installments and then you're broke again. The next month comes around and you do the same thing. So everybody's running after their tail.
Right. Well, I mean, you could tie that to how some people in America work as well when it comes to credit cards, right? They spend all the money before they get it, and then they use their money to pay their credit card bill.
And then they're always in the negative.
Yep, you're always in the negative, right? Yeah. That's a good way to live paycheck to paycheck, right?
Exactly. It's even worse than paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
If you get the paycheck and you're living paycheck to paycheck, at least you're not in the negative realm.
Right.
But if you are doing your negative, it's a very hard cycle to break.
And these are some of the things that you're able to help folks kind of change their outlook on money, change their habits when it comes to money through your work with Fings Financial. So let's actually get to that. Right around 2017, 2018, you attended your first Money 101.
Yes.
Hosted by Fings Financial. I believe you were brought there by your sister-in-law?
Yes, my sister-in-law is Janaidi Cardozo. Hard person to miss.
We love Janaidi.
We do. Janaidi, I love you.
She does.
And so she took me to the Money 101. We were in a BNI where Rickson was part of the BNI.
Rickson and Morum.
Yes, and so we know Rickson before he was actually the Rickson we know and love today.
Right.
So he was a young boy, very skinny.
I think I remember that
that
Rickson a little bit.
Yes. So we knew him then. And when he explained the concept to me, I was thinking, well, where's the catch? I was very skeptical.
Right.
Because I was raised to be skeptical. So we were thinking, where do they make money? Because we went to these seminars. You learn about how things work. And,
right. Money 101, obviously Fings Financial kind of flagship presentation where they basically are just teaching Americans the thing that they never learned in school about money. Simple, basic concepts that educate people about how to actually grow your money.
Yes. So we went to a few of those, and after I realized there's no catch, I asked Rickson to, a napkin presentation, basically. So Rickson sat with me, Janaidi, and this other guy who's no longer here. But we sat down together, and he explained it to me, and I got, okay, I'll do $100 a month, $100,000 coverage. That's what I wanted. And I told him exactly what I wanted, and he was like, but it's very low coverage. I said, I don't care. I want that coverage.
Just test it out, right?
Let's see how it goes.
Test it out first.
And I have that one until today.
You still have
yes.
that IUL that you basically put in place in 2017.
Yep.
After your first few Money 101s. And again, you were very skeptical, right?
Yes.
Going into that because you see, okay, it's a seminar. I see what's going to happen. People are probably going to come around and try to sell me something or set an appointment like right away and try to get it in my pocket. That skepticism.
It's typical, Brazilian.
Right,
typical.
Right.
Very typical. Because we're very cautious on who's dealing with our money. And so you have to have a very big impression of authority with the Brazilians for them to understand that you're not there to steal them or to rob from them. You actually want to add value to their life.
Right.
So it's a hard thing to remove from a Brazilian's mind, the idea that you're going to trick them out of their money.
Right.
It's very tricky.
And it's something that the Brazilianaires within Fings Financial, obviously a very large group of Brazilians who call themselves the Brazilianaires within Fings Financial. That's been something that you guys kind of have to overcome, right? Is that natural kind of skepticism,
Resistance?
right? Right. So, what are some of the ways that you guys do that? That you earn the trust of people that come to these Money 101s? Is it as simple as not being what they expect it to be?
Yes, we like to surprise them in a positive way, saying nobody's here. There's a joke,
Right?
I have to tell the joke.
I think I might have heard Gustavo Couto
150,000 times saying the same joke. Yeah.
Right.
So Gustavo says the joke that, we're not here to sell you anything. We're not selling CDs. We're not selling books. If you left your wallets in the car, we'll have a guy coming by and picking those up in a little bit. And everybody laughs. First 50 times it was funny.
Right. You bring those walls down.
Yes.
A little bit.
To make it fun and light and enjoyable. And if you spend an hour with that feeling of enjoyment, and this was light and easy and enjoying, it kind of starts making the person less skeptical, less suspicious of you. You have to impose your authority on what you do.
I think that what Fings Financial does so well is with this Money 101 is that it is truly coming from a place of education. It is not coming from a place of salesmanship or trying to, get you to fill out a form, immediately and trying to sell somebody. It truly is. You guys know that what you have is powerful, that the solutions that you have can help people. And the key is not to sell them through some sort of, scheme, right? It's truly, if we just educate these people on what this is,
yes,
that is the barrier.
And that's where it comes from, is Mr. Mike Wilk.
Right.
He does it with, perfect. He does it perfectly well. He teaches us to have the heart of the servant. So if you truly have the servant heart and want people to excel,
right,
and you want to aggregate something of value to their life, they will feel it. So people do things with their money because they feel it in their gut.
Right.
So if you don't make them feel like that, you're not going to get anything out of them. Right. So we go for the feeling because we don't try to sell. We know that we're there for the long run. We tell them we're going to be here for a long time. So we're going to start being your financial advisor. Adriana she's here with me, Adriana Kimsey.
We love
Adriana you, Adriana. And she always she was talking to me that she had a couple going through the process with her, and they're like, wow, I need this. So he started talking to her about doing it with her company's money, with their company's money, because they also needed help that way. And she's going to be with them for a long time.
Right.
And that's the kind of people we are. We're here for the long time.
For the long haul.
Yeah, we're not here for just, let's sell you here, bye, I'm not going to see you ever again.
Here to grow with them. And something that I've heard you say before, it's not about if someone tells you that they can help you get rich quick, you need to watch out, right? That is a huge red flag.
Yes.
The Brazilianaires and you and Jay are there to help clients get rich eventually.
Eventually. Get quick eventually scheme. How about that?
Get rich eventually scheme. Absolutely. Yes. And through some of these concepts, for people who haven't been to a Money 101, you absolutely should come to a Money 101.
Oh, yes.
And learn about all these things yourself. But let's try to help some of our viewers who might not know what some of these concepts that are covered in a Money 101 are. What are some of the concepts that are discussed?
Basic concepts are, the one that I think is very, very good is to know that Americans and Brazilians alike, many people who are not financially educated, they don't understand there is more than the security of having your money in a bank and the risk of having your money in the market.
Right.
So there is an in-between.
Right.
There
the
is
best of both worlds,
the
where
best
you can
of both
protect
worlds.
your money
while still getting the gains from the market.
Absolutely.
So it's the security of a bank account with the earnings of a market. So that's, for me, it's like a no-brainer.
Right.
There's no way you can beat that. You know?
Absolutely. And not only that, but also educating people about what those solutions, we're talking about things like index universal life, index annuities, things like that, the tax-free advantages that those products can have, which add another layer.
Yes.
And really a lot of these things are just, people don't know that they exist,
They
number
don't know.
one.
Nobody knows. And it's not only the Brazilians. No community knows.
Absolutely.
So that's why we have to branch out, because the Americans don't know either.
Right.
Middle-class Americans don't know.
Fings Financial doing very well, and the Brazilianers being a big part of Fings Financial, just helping specifically with the things that Fings Financial is talking to Americans about, helping the Brazilian market have access to that information and that education about money as well.
Yes, many people come to this country with everything they own in the world is in 2 bags. That's what they do. And they get here, and they don't understand the differences, and they start to translate, oh, if I did it there, it's going to work here. And it doesn't.
Right.
You're going to it's going to be like a dog always chasing your tail. You're not going to get ahead if you don't understand the different concepts here.
Right. Right. I mean, even simple things like compound interest and how compound interest works over time. It's, it's interest, earning interest, right?
We have a slide.
Yeah.
It goes, this is how compound interest works. And we literally show this plus this equals this.
Right.
This, because it has to go, the obvious needs to be stated. So we have a coach that used to say that. He still says it. The obvious needs to be stated because some people don't know the obvious.
Right.
So even if for you and for me, it's, geez, who doesn't know that?
Right.
Many people don't.
Absolutely. And it's not only for people who might not have never heard it before, but it also
Never thought about it.
Right.
No.
Or people who did know but maybe need reminding about how powerful that concept is. I've been doing this for 12 years, and there's still times that I watch a video that I've seen 15 times before on compound interest or the need to invest early, something like that, and it still hits me like, wow, that is a very powerful concept that I need to constantly keep in mind. Sometimes when you hear those, even though you've heard that information before, it can renew that sense of urgency. Like, I really need to start saving more today.
Yes. And then there's the gap,
powerful.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge gap of people that are the millennials
Mm-hmm.
who are, starting to get old.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said,
Don't say that.
you're a millennial, right?
I am. I'm an old millennial.
X.
Kind of, yeah.
X generation
Yeah.
here, okay?
I'm kind of cusp. Right?
There's a huge gap. And people have to see that they're going to get old. You are going to get old
Mm-hmm.
because the alternative is bad,
Right.
which is death.
Right.
So if you're going to get old and you plan to get old,
Right.
you should plan to get old.
Right. Let's plan to get old
Exactly.
so that we can maybe set up for a nice retirement.
Oh, yeah. We want to be on a beach somewhere.
Absolutely. The retirement that we dreamed of.
Exactly.
These are all the things that the Brazilianaires and that you and Jay help people with every single day.
Plus, the Brazilian community has paid about over $11 million in living benefits
Wow.
to the Brazilian community.
So living benefits, for those who have not heard about living benefits, can you give us that is something that you guys do cover in
yes.
Money 101s that
A
you do
lot.
talk to your clients about every day? Because yes, we need to do things like save in a smart way, save in a tax advantage way, save for the future. But if you're going to save, if you're going to build this house of savings, you need to make sure that you
have a base.
a foundation.
Yes, and the base and the foundation is the living benefits because in case of an emergency, you are covered.
Right.
We had a case where a client called in to talk to Jay, and she was crying, literally on the phone. And she was crying because she didn't meet us earlier because her husband and her, they had planned their whole life. They had 6 houses. And it's a very good plan. She lived in one and she rented the rest and she lived off of the rentals.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect plan. Then he got sick.
Mm.
And house number 6 went, 5, 4, 3, 2, and they were left with their house and he died.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It was a very, very sad. And we had, you had to tell her the only thing that we had for her is, you can come work with us if you want. But unfortunately, she was like in her 60s, no income. She was left with her house only, and she was scrambling to make it through the month. And we said, that's on us. We should have come earlier. We should have done more. We should have talked to more people, because if she had insurance to keep 2 of those houses,
Right.
she'd be okay.
Right.
But we didn't make it quick enough.
It is this actually comes up a lot. I refer
sad
to it.
stories.
It's the blessing and the curse of doing what we do. Right? Is that the blessing, you get those amazing moments where you know that this living benefits policy that I put in place for somebody paid out $300,000-$400,000 and was able to save them. And that was me. I helped this family
Those
educate
are the
themselves.
happy stories.
Right. And then at the same time, it's that double-edged sword where you have the curse where you have stories like the one that you just described, which is so unfortunate. But you also, every time that I just see in my Instagram feed or Facebook feed that someone that I know, or even someone like a friend of a friend, had a cancer or a heart attack or stroke, there's that pang
Yes.
of guilt and shame, because you're like,
should have been there.
I should have talked to them.
You should have tried a little harder,
Right.
you know? And I called the first time it happened to us when we got a sad story was a person that we insisted for about a year that they get, insured, and they didn't, and they chose not to. And I called Paulo Garcia. I said, Paulo, this happened. And he told me something that I will remember forever. He said, we collect sad stories. We don't announce them. We don't tell them. We don't share them, but we collect them. And unfortunately, that is our baggage. We have to run after the happy stories. Mm-hmm. So
right.
you chase the happy stories and you collect the bad ones. And
right.
then you try and forget them because
you use them as fuel, right? You use them as fuel to remind yourself it's important to talk to everybody. And
yes.
You never know who that person that you're going to talk to and educate about living benefits and how they work. And that they don't cost any more than regular life insurance.
Exactly.
It's just a new modern kind of life insurance. Every single person that you talk to, you never know which one is going to be one of those people who really, really needs it. Mm-hmm. Right. And again, that foundation, that's what you build everything on.
Correct.
So it is very important work that you're doing. Thank you so much for the work that you do with the Brazilian community. And thank you for joining us for this for this podcast. It's been awesome having you. I can't wait to shoot all of the content that we're going to shoot in Stratton Studios.
Yes. I hope I don't stutter.
Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Lydia Cabral, thank you so much for joining us. Say hi to Jay for us.
I will. Hi,
and we will. We can't wait to work with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam, for having us.
Of course. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Alliance Group Podcast.
Listen to this interview and more on the Alliance Group Podcast.